Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you, and that's depending where you are in the world. We're here live in London doing our nighttime devotion from the devotional Conflict and Courage. The title today, Safe Inside. Now, these devotions at the moment are all about Noah. So, safe inside would refer to being safe inside the ark. Genesis 7, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Noah had faithfully followed the instructions which he had received from God. The ark was finished in every part as the Lord had directed, and was stored with food for man and beast. And now the servant of God made his last solemn appeal to the people with an agony of desire that words cannot express. He entreated them to seek a refuge while it may be found. Again, they rejected his words and raised their voices in jest and scoffing. Suddenly, a silence fell upon the mocking throng. Beasts of every description, the fiercest as well as the most gentle, were seen coming from mountain, forest, quietly making their way toward the ark. A noise as of a rushing wind was heard, and lo, birds were flocking from all directions, their numbers darkening the heavens, and in perfect order they passed into the ark. Animals obeyed the command of God, while men were disobedient. When they saw the beasts come from the forests to the door of the ark, and Noah take them in, they had so long resisted, so long denied the message that God had given them, that conscience became unimpressible. Mercy had ceased its pleading for the guilty race. The beasts of the field, the birds of the air, had all entered the place of refuge. Noah and his household were within the ark, and the Lord shut them in. The massive door, which it was impossible for those within to close, was slowly swung to its place by unseen hands. Noah was shut in. The rejectors of God's mercy were shut out. The seal of heaven was on that door. God had shut it, and God alone could open it. So when Christ shall cease his intercession for guilty men, before his coming in the clouds of heaven, the door of mercy will be shut. Then divine grace will no longer restrain the wicked, and Satan will have full control of those who have rejected mercy. They will endeavor to destroy God's people, but as Noah was shut into the ark, so the righteous will be shielded by divine power. Safe inside. So in the story of Noah and the ark, it depicts Noah being told by God to build an ark that will save humanity. The ark would float when the earth is flooded, and all that will remain within the ark will be saved. So we could use that as an allegory. God is telling us now to build a spiritual ark, in that we should be reading his word. We should be understanding what is happening in this world right now. The wars and the rumors of wars. I emphasize rumors because Russia and Ukraine, are they really at war? Or is it just a big puppet show? Are they showing you the real war on TV, or are they showing you footage of missiles hitting some building somewhere and people running? And are they actors? I'm not going to say it's not real. I personally don't believe it, but I don't know the actual truth. And then we're looking at the war, Israel, Palestine, etc. That war might be real or not, because all we can believe is what they show us on TV. If we read the word, if we read prophecy and study and understand prophecy, we will see what is happening in this world now. We can better understand where we lie in the prophecies of the end of time. If we look at the book of Daniel, chapter 2, it depicts a big statue. And the earth's history is based on that statue, where it goes from the top, the head of gold, which was the kingdom of Babylon, go all the way down to the toes. And where we are right now in the history of this world, we're in the actual toenails. And when you look at all that, you know you need to get yourself ready. You need to make your body ready as a temple for God to dwell within you. His spirit. His spirit cannot dwell within you if you are full of sin, if you're full of self, if you're full of pride and ego, narcissism, selfies. We need to prepare ourselves for the coming, the return of Jesus the Christ. And in doing so, we should be denying self more so and allowing God to work in us and through us. And by doing so, we will become more humble, more meek, more lowly, more content, more loving, and thus more peculiar to the people of the world. But in doing that and being more peculiar, we will enjoy life more, no matter what it brings, knowing full well that God is in control. Now, when it talks about entering the ark, it's talking about entering the Sabbath rest, the resting place. Bear in mind, there is the seal of God and the mark of the beast. Now, this is a spiritual thing. It's not a physical thing. The seal of God is the Sabbath. The Sabbath is the mark of God's creation. In 6 days, God the Father created, that's his title. He was a creator. The heavens and the earth, that's his dominion. God the Father, yeah, that's his dominion. His title is dominion. Creator God, his name, his title, his dominion. That's the Sabbath rest, the Sabbath. The mark of the beast, when the time comes when your probation is due to close, that will happen when man chooses or thinks to change times and laws. Times have changed. They've changed the times, as in the days and the months, by changing the calendars about 3 or 4 times by now. But the laws have not been changed. God's commandments to still stand. But when they choose to change the commandments, when they cancel the Sabbath out, which is the fourth commandment, and they choose to make Sunday the first day of the week, the day of worship, it will become a law that everyone must keep the first day as what they will probably call family day or day of rest, whatever they want to call it. But they will make that a law. And when that becomes the law, that will negate one of God's laws, which will negate them all. Because when you break one, you break them all. That being the case, when they choose to make laws against God's laws, that is the time when probation will close for those who choose to walk away from God's laws. But those who choose to keep all of God's laws, that's including the Sabbath, you will receive the seal of God. And when all the plagues, the final plagues come, you will be protected. But you need to stand strong in His word. It doesn't mean to say they won't come at you. They won't try and come at you. But if you stand strong for God on His word, He will stand for you also. So know, I'm not saying you have to know the word for word. Yes, it would be good if you do. But if you can't, just know what it says, understand it, and do what He expects us to do. Any questions? Drop me a comment. God bless you.